we're getting ready to go into game número dos.
Número 2. Ok. Tenemos TargA y Sheth.
No,
Pero
muy
Hego,
bien. Ho, ho, ho.
Número 2.
Well, that was a French one.
Vamos a ver.
Vamos a ver. So we are beginning here on game number 2. Now, what is the map choice?
It is
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
TPW. What does TPW mean, Andre, for those who don't know?
I know this.
Oh, you really don't know, huh?
Oh my gosh. What is? Oh my god.
Andre, you picked their maps. How would you not know?
How do I not know this?
The Planetary Workshop.
Planetary Workshop.
Planetary
of course.
Workshop.
Well, you had to look it up.
I had to look it up too. I didn't know what it was. Well, because Andre's the one who picked the map.
I always say TPW though.
Last season we used, well, for the qualifiers, I know we used Artifice, right, for TPW, and I was like, oh, wow, these maps are pretty cool. You know, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe Andre knows a little bit about it. I'm like, Andre, tell me what TPW stands for. And he looks at me, he's like, why would you ask me this question right now? You know that I don't know. I was like scrambling to look it up. Thank you, Liquipedia, providing it. The Planetary Workshop. ESV is not the only organization that creates maps. They also make us some cool things. So this is TPW Odyssey.
It's funny. It actually used to be called TPW Ohana. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. Wow. That actually is a good reminder.
It was TPW Ohana, and then the map maker changed over to ESV. Traitor. Traitor. No.
Diplomacy is a funny thing, Andre.
I've expressed it multiple times. You know, it's awesome that Ohana actually got onto the ladder pool. I'm going to self-brag right now.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. Did you know that Ohana actually had 2 more expansions, and the third was impossible to get if you were Zerg?
Well, I did know that because you've been reminding me every single time Ohana was played.
In fact, you didn't know.
He's like, hey, check out the Team Liquid thread on Ohana. It's like, special thanks to Greetorf. I'm like,
I know.
Really?
I balanced the map, man. I balanced the map as much as I could, given the map layout that they wanted.
Ohana's not a bad map. It's in our map pool.
Thank you.
And we might see it later on, but for now we are on Odyssey. Now, TargA is going for a very similar build that he did in game number 1. Sheth opens very similar as well, getting speed. Now, this pool positioning from Sheth is very curious, and he puts that on the very outer side. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't know.
I'm so curious about it. Yeah.
The main thing I could think of is defense against. I wouldn't even call it defense. Like 6 pools, you don't want your spine crawlers to be built, your opponent's spine crawlers to be built unnoticed. Maybe that. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, it's just one of these tricks that I want to know what Sheth has in mind when he does it. But for now, Sheth, he could be trying to avoid Overlord's sight. He could be trying to use it to confuse AI pathing if for some reason TargA's not paying attention.
The main reason why we talk about this is because the spine crawler, sport crawler, spawning pool. My God. Seriously, the spawning pool can be placed over here. And then you have a really good way to just shove your queen in there. Only a single Zerglin can fit through it, and it takes probably 10 years, 4 nights, and 7 days. That doesn't even make sense, but it takes a while to kill that queen.
Sheth, another thing that takes a while to kill is the cocoon egg morphing into more drones, and Sheth did work on them like he did in game number 1. TargA shows actually a significant amount of Zerglings. He's taking these initial units from Sheth very seriously. He witnesses Zerglings learning metabolic boost mid-battle. Now, that's not like Pokemon. Pokemon, you only can learn moves after the battle.
Yes.
Which is really good. Imagine you can learn like Hydro Pump in the middle of the battle. That's OP.
That would be pretty OP.
Actually, wait, you can learn in the middle of the battle, right? If you level up. Right, yeah. What are you thinking, man? You can.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Well, technically not in the middle of a battle. The battle has to finish, and then a new Pokemon needs to be spawned.
I always thought it was so BS. It's like Ash is like in the worst position ever, and then Squirtle all of a sudden suddenly learns how to do Hydro Pump, and he wins. I'm like, oh, well, that's like a big plot hole.
Well, if you watch the anime series, that actually happens all the time. It's like, oh, Pikachu
learned
it's
like,
Thunder.
oh, I conveniently learned how to use my best move in all of history.
When did he learn how to use Thunder? That's ridiculous.
It's like, oh, I thought he just learned how to use like Tail Whip. And all of a sudden he learns how to use Thunder. It's crazy.
Remember when you know in the actual show, Tail Whip was actually a good move.
It was, and like Leer actually like paralyzed them.
Yeah,
it was like, wow, these are the most useless moves in all of Pokemon.
I would never ever use those moves. Just like no, just attack, gust, sand. The only good move was Sand Attack.
That was really,
that
really
thing was annoying.
But we're seeing a lot of moves here from Sheth. In fact, he's hiding one Baneling. Actually, I witnessed it morphing. Was it back at home? I can't see it. Where is Sheth's Baneling?
It's an anomaly.
I can't see it right now. Oh, it's in the base. Whoa. And he's going to try to see if he can flank the units from behind. Is Sheth going to be able to get it off?
Oh, gosh. And that
he's going to use it as a way to break the ramp, though.
He actually killed a ton of larvae with that. That was actually a lot more profitable than you might have thought.
So clever here by Sheth. And also he gets inside the base, scouts everything, pulls drones off the minerals, and meanwhile just stalling time for getting up his economy safe at home.
He's reacting
great moves from Sheth.
Getting down spine crawlers. The Roach Warren is in place. It's actually being constructed right now. 10 more seconds and it's there. And I like that. I mean, you know, killing those larvae, I don't think it was intentional just because the Roach killed the Baneling. I don't think it was intentional, but it actually pays off quite a bit because those 3 larvae could have been 3 drones, 3 roaches, 3
for this counter push.
It's a lot of just stuff.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, guys, they say, oh, wow, TargA's still up in supply. That is all in roaches. TargA needs to do damage. Oh, he runs up the ramp uncontested. Sheth was trying too much to protect his natural. The roaches hatch immediately, and Sheth gets caught and pinned against the wall of the pool, and TargA is in the base. This is not a good position for Sheth, as his queens can't even really engage without blocking each other, and TargA is doing a lot of damage. Sheth hasn't pulled any drones yet. The Baneling's still not being that effective. TargA's still up 10 roaches to just 5.
Unfortunately, those spine crawlers are not in good position. You can see streaming units now going into the drone line. Zerglings will meet up with some drones that are attacking, but I don't think that's a good trade. TargA just has way too many units. The supplies are at 57 to 38. Sheth lost critical position, and you can see now that TargA is inside the base, he's doing massive damage.
Great moves from TargA, realizing the ramp was open, was able to capitalize, and now Sheth is paying a huge price. We've seen 9 workers killed, and Sheth reduced to just 14 drones, and even more, the Zergling run by at the natural, avoiding the spine crawler. TargA is everywhere, and as a result, at the end of the day, you see Sheth 12 to 32 drones.
Awesome moves by TargA. I would even say they're better than Jaggers. My God.
Great.
And now he's going to just drone up from here. He can really do anything he wants as long as he just keeps the pressure on. I think one of the most important things to get at this point is your +1. Don't fall behind in upgrades. It gives you a really nice way to actually time something out. He actually has his evolution chamber up. So just get the necessary defenses. Get your +1 attack, and then do a +1 timing, and you should be able to hit something pretty strong, where Zerglings by your opponent is doing absolutely nothing, and then it just comes down to the roach count. Is my roach count greater than yours? If so, which it should be based on his macro and his drone count, then I win.
Yeah, this is just a tricky part of ZVZ where Sheth, he feels he's just so far behind, he's forced to play the drone catch-up game, but TargA is going to get ahead in everything else. He's getting tech out. I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he starts moving out and taking a 3rd base either. And at this point, TargA has to be feeling very comfortable. And I mean, he likes that he's playing a little bit safe. He's getting additional spine crawler because I think he's expecting Sheth to maybe reverse Owlin or something at this point, because Sheth is just really far behind. He knows how many drones he killed.
42 to 29. Let's check that real quick. 13 to 1. So it's just a dramatic advantage for TargA. I'm not sure why he's not pressing this on. He is going to lair, and he's getting another hatchery.
Ooh, he gets a scout in at the natural with his Zergling, and he sees Sheth taking another geyser. So he's aware that Sheth is trying to catch up in some shape or form, but TargA's still very comfortable. He's not going to get a 3rd base. He's going to get a macro hatchery.
Yes, and at this point, I mean, don't get me wrong. Nothing TargA is doing is incorrect. Yeah. Everything's fine.
He's being safe.
Just playing safe. Yeah. I think this is fine. He can,
it's very
as we said, he can literally do whatever he wants. Just, I mean, there's some critical things that he doesn't want to do. He's at 50 harvesters. If you go above 60, it's bad. Just straight up, it's terrible. If you go above, well, I don't know. I think that's about it.
If you go above, I mean, the higher you go, diminishing returns on 2 base.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing that could happen. I don't know what else could happen. I know you wait too long, mass out on roaches, and you run into 20 mutas. No, even 20 mutas can't kill roaches in time.
Well, we'll see, because right now TargA's, the way he's lining up his timings, could go for a +1 speed attack with his roaches, and he is in full roach production mode. And Sheth is going to have one hell of a time trying to defend. You see he's got 2 spine crawlers, And honestly, the way that Sheth's setting up his spine crawlers actually gives TargA the superior concave unless Sheth's able to engage on the high ground. And so TargA's moving out here. Sheth is not going to see that unless with his first Overlord. Oh, he did control the Watchtower, just kidding.
+1 Galilo Reconstitution is finished for his Roaches, so they're packing a punch here. TargA got 142 supply to Sheth's measly 89. Sheth not looking too good for this incoming fight. And we predicted that before. I mean, of course, with the insane macro that TargA had, that macro advantage, I should say.
Yeah. Queen's brought down the ramp. The Roaches holding as valiantly as they can, but there is just way too many units. And Sheth is getting overrun by the amount of Roaches and the +1 doing lots of damage. Sheth has his own +1, but he doesn't really have any units to really capitalize on it. GG. TargA is going to take game number 2. I don't believe he's on Infinity still, right? No, he's on Mindspeak. I think that's what it is. Yeah, so TargA, that graphic will be updated. Don't worry, guys. We understand TargA recently moved teams, but he takes game number 2 and ties it up, sending into the ace match.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see that. TargA played really nice. I think Sheth was really caught off guard by that initial attack. Obviously, the Roach circling Bane. Were there Banelings? I don't even think there were Banelings.
There was just one. That one Baneling all game was the one that Sheth made. So.
It was a little interesting. I felt like Sheth should have been able to stop that. Maybe just the spine crawler position really hurt him. Normally, you want to get your queens blocking the ramp for that very same reason that we saw. Letting the Zerglings get into the base was pretty critical, and that was definitely a big,
it's a big moment. Yeah,
big hindrance to Sheth defending that push in general. So it is unfortunate, but Sheth will fall here, and as you said, ties it up 1-1.
Yep, so apologies. Someone just mentioned to me, you guys are really quick. It's not Mindspeak, it's Mindfreak, the team that TargA ended up joining. So check it out, as they are definitely one of the undiscovered teams on the StarCraft 2 scene. We'll find out who is going to take this series in game number 3. Thank you so much to the people who made that game, or who made that game possible. GameMinder, the application that reminds you about upcoming games and demos. Don't go anywhere. More action from NASL Season 3 is coming up after this commercial.